Welcome back. And to continue talking about this historic event marking the installation of the reactor pressure vessel, the RPV, for the first nuclear unit at Al Daba nuclear power plant. In addition, of course, to the signing of the nuclear fuel procurement order between Russia and Egypt. To discuss this in more details over the phone, we have Mrs. Monica William, Professor of Economics and Political Science. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. So first of all, can we ask you about the impact of this project when it comes to the concept of reducing the energy cost as talking about the long term in Egypt?
Yes, of course, this project specifically, Egypt, through it seeks to achieve three core objectives. The first one is diversify in energy sources and building an independent and peaceful nuclear capability that mitigates volatility in global energy markets, and it provides Egypt with a wider margin of strategic stability in this regard. Second, it strengthens its major partnership beyond the Western sphere in line with Egypt's foreign policy doctrine that aims to burden its international networks and construct balanced relations that don't rely on alignment with any single power. The third and very important point, in my point of view, is leverage geopolitical shifts, particularly the war in Ukraine and the sanctions imposed on Russia to secure optimal conditions for cooperation and coordination at a time when Moscow is keen to demonstrate that its global relationship remain resilient despite this Western pressure. So it's a very important project for Egypt and also for the political objective and the strategic one, of course.
What do you expect after it is going to be fully operational when it comes to the economic map in Egypt?
Of course, it's very important as we see, and if we try to go in depth in this project, it's as we see politically, it's a very shared understanding between both leadership that coming phase requires updating the mechanism of partnership, particularly against backdrop of specified shift to global power dynamics. Of course, Egypt capable of maintaining balance and deadlines for this project, and its nuclear cooperation doesn't come at expense of its Western partnership or its different. Try to maximize its national interest. Of course, nuclear fuel agreement. It's not technical milestone only within the Daba project. Of course, it's foundational step into broader strategic partnership between Egypt and Russia. One tied to energy security and the regional power dynamics and evolving the structure of the international order. So it underscores Egypt's ability to harness global moment to build a sustainable tool of national power and expand the autonomy of its strategic choices.
How far can this project attract more foreign investments to Egypt?
It's one of the most important part of this project that it's that Egypt committed to its institutional commitments and to confirm its economic and political stability and the different aspects. And if we try to read the trade between Egypt and Russia, it's $6.6 billion in 2024, and there is a lot of Russian companies in Egypt. All of these numbers reflect how Egypt tried to sustain its, of course, developmental and economic position according to or within the international map in economic and geopolitical, of course, one.
So how far can the industrial growth in Egypt benefit from this project?
Of course, it's a very important, and it's a very this arrangement supply, of course, the energy, of course, and the energy stability in Egypt and security. This development can be interpreted through a broader one, and it reflects indication of the strategic commitments of Egypt. So it's a very important and a critical project.
Will it have any impact when it comes to job creation directly and indirectly?
That's your question. Please, can you repeat
Talking
it
about creating job opportunities directly and non-directly.
Of course, it's directly because the knowledge transfer that the President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi mentioned yesterday, and Vladimir Putin, of course, as well mentioned that 55% of this employment of this project is Egyptian. So it's very important, and it has, of course, its consequences, which is we can try to summarize in economic wise, and in social, and in energetic level, and of course in the environmental one.
So what kind of, let's say, savings that Egypt can achieve when it comes to reliance, reducing reliance on fuel?
Of course, it's diversify. Of course, if we try to, one of the most important and importance of this project, as we mentioned earlier, that it's diversify energy sources and building independent capabilities that try to make Egypt and to provide Egypt with wider margin of strategic stability, and wider try to updating mechanism of different, which is of course provide Egypt with security and energy security files. So it's a dynamic and very important partnership between the two parts, and of course it's evolve the structure of Egypt and make Egypt a more regional hub for the security, whether in Middle East or in a Red Sea region.
Right, Mrs. Monica William, Professor of Economics and Political Science, thank you very much for joining us. And moving on to a quick break, then we'll be back with more on The Breakfast Show.